an event at the Capitol Jewish Museum on Wednesday night. The Israeli ambassador to the United States says the victims are Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram. According to the ambassador, Lashinsky had just bought an engagement ring and intended to propose to his girlfriend next week. The shooter has been identified by police as a 30-year-old man from Chicago, Elias Rodriguez. Video from moments after the shooting show him inside the museum yelling "Free Palestine" as he was being detained. Leading us off this hour, NBC's Julia Ainsley at the scene in Washington, D.C., and NBC News correspondent Marissa Parra outside a home connected to that suspect in Chicago. Julia, let's start with you. This is a federal investigation now. Where does it stand at this hour?
Yeah, that's right, Sinclair. The feds really took over this investigation very soon after it happened. I'm standing here right at the scene of the crime. We're just about at 9:10 p.m. last night as an event was letting out here. That is when the victims came out and were shot. We understand that now this suspect is due for an arraignment hearing right down the street from here very soon in D.C. federal court. We also saw in a tweet or a post on X, rather, from FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino that they are trying to determine if a manifesto published is connected with that suspect. I will also say that we heard from Attorney General Pam Bondi about how far the Trump administration is willing to go to seek justice in this case. Take a listen.
Our Jewish community must feel safe. What we saw last night was disgusting. I saw a young man's away who was about to get engaged. He had an entire life in front of him, and that was taken away. The hate has got to stop, and it has to stop now.
So while the Justice Department is seeking the death penalty, today's hearing is about arraignment, about whether or not the suspect will stay in custody.
Okay, Julia, thank you. Marissa, there have been FBI investigators all day long. What are you seeing? What are you learning about the suspect?
Kate and Sinclair, I can tell you, we just saw a flurry of activity outside of this building here. So we're in Albany Park. This is a neighborhood in Chicago, and this is an address that is tied to the suspect. Of course, all of us are trying to work out to figure out exactly what that tie is. But I can tell you right now, we spoke to a neighbor who claimed next door to Elias Rodriguez for years. He says he's always been kind, mild-tempered, never saw any type of anger. But he did tell us that right in that window you see a picture. He says that that picture, that sign that says "Justice for Wadea," belongs to Elias Rodriguez's apartment. Wadea, if you remember, was that Palestinian boy who was stabbed to death in Illinois a few years ago in 2023. So in terms of what we have seen here on the ground, it was actually just minutes ago we saw over a dozen evidence response team members carrying out files, boxes, duffel bags, backpacks. Of course, the question being containing what? Well, no doubt evidence that they will be sifting through as they continue to investigate this. As Julia just mentioned, the FBI, feds, they are all hands-on here. We've seen a lot of activity. In fact, just minutes ago, Kate and Sinclair, we saw a car being towed away. We don't know officially who that belongs to. But in addition, we are hearing from the American Osteopathic Association. They said in a statement they were shocked and saddened to hear that an employee of theirs was connected to this, believed to be a suspect. They said their thoughts are with the victims and they'll cooperate with authorities. Kate and Sinclair.
All right, Marissa Parra, Julia Ainsley, thank you both.